Okay, welcome everyone to my stock market technical analysis video for today. We're going to go through the general market analysis, look at the broad indices. I'm going to look at some short ideas and some long ideas. We'll look at gold and we'll wrap up. So a couple things, guys. Drop me a thumbs up. Check out the course. Link in the description below if you're interested in learning this as a skill set. And we will get into it. Triple Qs. Okay. Couple things. All right, I went long on Friday afternoon right here at this trend line, 280.50, right around there is where I went long. We were well into the profit, doing pretty well. I raised my stops. I did get stopped out today. My stop was set just underneath this trend line right here. So this was our former area of support. And you can see they came down today, ran it down, and clipped my stop right there. So I am stopped out of the long, and I actually don't have a position right now on triple Qs. I'm really watching how things play out today and see where we go. You know, if we can recover this 285.11, this is a potential just, quick dip down, clip some stops, and then we'll continue to rally just like I thought we would yesterday. So things to watch for there. Otherwise, look for, impulsive selling to start to show up. And if we get that, then we might, looking at the daily chart, we might get a final flush down. Really we have the potential to flush all the way down to the pre-COVID lows, which is all the way down here at 237.85. I don't think we'll get, we'll fall that much. But again, if we start to see a market crash and we see volatility start to spike, we could easily just sell right down to that level. That would be the target that I would have on a potential crash. We'll probably undercut it a little and then bounce back and recover. But again, there's the potential for that. Again, I'm still going back to the hourly chart, just looking at what happens today around this 285.22. Okay. Again, we also still have that bullish divergence. If I zoom in, you can see we basically have the bullish divergence on the hourly chart here. Right there is bullish divergence on the RSI, and it's there on the PPO. So we made a new lower low on Friday, but it was a divergent low. So we could hold here, and this could be the beginning of an uptrend. Friday being the lows, and we make a higher low, and then we shoot on to make higher highs, and we start that uptrend that I was kind of looking for. The move this morning caught me off guard a little bit. But again, that's what stops are for. So we stopped out for a small profit and just looking for an objective entry again on where the market heads next. So in the short term, I'm a little undecided, but we could hold here and recover. So just be prepared to move your positions, and that's kind of what I'm doing is I'm just flat triple Qs looking to take a position one way or the other. Okay, that's what I have on Qs. You look at the NASDAQ futures, another one to look at. We have some decent support right here at 11,700. You can see there's support, there's that spike down on Friday, but they recovered it, and today we're below it right now. So we need to see this recover. It could just be another whip down, another stop raid. We're below it, so unless we recover it, then we go lower. So again, just I'm just kind of staying neutral and just waiting to pivot. Okay, let's look at gold. So gold is still looking very bullish to me. It's probably one of the more bullish charts that I like. So I am starting to add and build mining positions. I bought some more Barrick gold today, bought some more yesterday, and continuing to add to some of these miners. So here's what I see in gold. Let's look at the weekly chart. Again, here's your bull market starting in 2018, about September 2018. The bull market really started back here in December of 2015, but we didn't really establish a solid trend until about 2018. All right, so here's your clear uptrend line. You can see all the tags. I've kind of got them all circled where we've hit support. And here we zoom in. We broke support 2 weeks ago, and so far this week they've recovered that support line. So as I look at the daily chart, you can see that this to me looks like a bear trap. All right, it looks like we've broke down, ran a bunch of stops, recovered, and we're now in a bullish trend, back within the bullish trend, and we should continue to rally. So that's what I got on gold. I think we continue to rally, looking for more upside, looking at something like Barrick gold, which is one of the larger miners. So Barrick gold, same kind of pattern. On Barrick gold, you've got this big correction. You've got a underlying bull market, kind of the bigger picture. You've got this big bull market that started back in, for this one, 2015. Nice clean up trend line. Here's the COVID lows. We recently hit it again. And we basically were in a correction for a year and a half, starting in August of 2020, big corrective pattern. We hit major support, broke out to the upside, and we've come in for a back test. And I've got this downtrend line that we have now recovered. So to me, it looks like a bear trap. We're above the 200-day moving average. Just everything looks bullish in general on this. So looking for gold to kind of hold up here and continue to build on the gains that it's starting to put in over the last day or two. Okay, and another long trade setup, not actionable yet, but just want to kind of stay with this one, and this is Netflix. So Netflix, let's go to the hourly chart. I had this potential uptrend line here. It's not really in play anymore, so we'll just go ahead and get rid of it. Basically, what we have is a downtrend line starting on this big gap down that we got on the April 20th, and you can see we hit some resistance. Yesterday, they creeped it right over that resistance line, but it was at the end of the day, and it wasn't impulsive. So not a buy signal. We need to see impulsive break of key levels. Preferably not at the very end of the day, but if anything, it needs to be impulsive. So that's kind of critical. I teach that in my course, so link in the description below. Check that out. Today, they gap down. They're selling it down. We have no buy signal, but what we do have is a bullish setup. We've got bullish divergence on both the RSI and the PPO. So you can see momentum is continuing to build higher and higher while price is in this kind of slow drift. So when we get that impulsive breakout, that should be good for, at a minimum, I would think gap fill up here at 246.60 and gap entry 246.60 and potentially a gap fill move up to 330.27. But we don't have anything yet, so I just want to keep an eye on it. Moving on. Okay, let's look at some short trade ideas here, some new ones. Here's Zen. All right, Zendesk. You can see on the daily chart, this is your trend line that we've been watching starting back in 2016. So we've got support. We established another tag of the trend line there, and then just recently there in January we hit it again. And then just recently we had this big cluster right here on the daily where we're kind of trying to hold trend, trying to hold support, but as of today you can see they couldn't hold it, and that is a sell signal right there. Big impulsive sell down 7.5%, breaking the trend line, and that's about as good as it gets for a sell signal. The other thing is, if you look at the momentum, you can see that as we were building higher and higher right here, we were making less and less momentum. So negative divergence, holding the trend line, breaking trend, and basically that's all she wrote. It's a sell signal. There's also a support right here, which should now be resistance, 91. Maybe they hold that today. There's some kind of horizontal support right there. But in general, that should go. Whether it breaks today or in the next few days, that should break. And I don't see much in the terms of support on this chart. There's a little bit right here. So we'll probably get a reaction kind of right in here, about 73. And then we've got another level down here at 62.93. So we'll watch both those levels. But again, I'm looking for lower prices here. C's, this one I grabbed, I reshorted it yesterday just because it was at such a critical level of resistance, but I've talked about this trade for a while. So again, my general thesis is that we're in a bear market. We will continue to head lower. We will get bear market rallies along the way. We'll try to catch those if we can, but over the long term, the trending trade should be lower and lower prices. So it's sell the rip. When you rally, you want to look to reshort or sell into that as we continue to trend lower, and that's kind of what this is. So we had the sell signal on this one. Really, we got it back here May 5th, May 6th, somewhere right in there. One of those 2 days is good enough for a sell signal. We had a bearish rising wedge pattern. We had negative divergence on both momentum indicators. We broke trend here. There's your sell signal. Down we go. Broke the first level of support just right through it, and that was resistance. All right, right there at 57.80. So that's where I reshorted it just the other day. I was a little bit off, but was able to reshort it. And again, crashing down. So I got support, the next level of support. You know, there's some here at 46.31, but there's also this gap right down here, this former gap and this level right here. So it could be down here. at 43.13. Anywhere in there. I just don't see this level as being a great level, so we could fall down here. But my ultimate target, and this is where I think we're heading, 36.88. All right, that's your pre-COVID highs right there. And I think that's exactly where this is heading. So we should, whether we bounce here, maybe do that, I think we're going to head down and hit that. All right, so I'm staying short on this one. Tesla continues to drift lower. I'm shorting this one again. Again, I don't see any good support. We're in the middle of this range, and I don't see any support till we hit 550. So to me, it looks like we're heading right down there. We might get a little bounce along the way, but again, we should just continue lower over time. So 550 and potentially a lot lower. So that's something to look at there. Cars continuing to drift lower. This one's got a ways to go. So car, I think, is heading down to 50.41, and that's your pre-COVID highs right there. So that's got a ways to go. And again, it's just continuing to move down. So, I was looking for a bounce in the market. We did get a bounce off the Friday lows. They're selling right into it. So it's, I'm just mixed on where we go in the short term. I think, some of these shorts just look like they're good. We got stopped out of the long trade. So that's kind of what I got for right now. I'm going to keep an eye out on anything else that I see that looks really interesting. And, PANW, I know that's one I've been kind of hot on. If we're going to sell off, then this is probably as far as we're going to bounce. This, again, broke trend. You had a sell signal right here. So you sell down, hit support, we bounced. We should continue lower, all right, down to the next target, which would be 375.26. Because, again, we've already hit the first target at 420. We took profit there. We should run down to this next target, 375. All right, and that would be a gap fill right there. So I think that it would make sense if we're going to sell down that this is, likely the end of the run and the bounce of this, and we're going to, start to sell off again. Roku, there's a potential long trade here. It's, you're kind of taking it's higher risk, but I definitely want to point it out. Roku. So you have a bullish falling wedge pattern. See this wedge right here? That's a bullish falling wedge. Those typically resolve to the upside. We are at what looks like the bottom of the wedge right here. Support, 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 and right there at support. So it's objective to go long right here. This thing's down 17.5%, although you could get kind of a flush out move where it just breaks to the downside and then recovers. That's always the possibility, but it is objective to buy it here at support. You also have bullish divergence. All right, you have momentum moving higher, so there's your bullish divergence. So you got bullish divergence right there on the PPO and the RSI. You have a bullish falling wedge, and you're right at support. All right, so that's as good as it gets. You could take a shot, take a long here, maybe take half position. Again, you always have that potential for this. Sometimes they like to break these things to the downside. These bullish wedges break them to the downside, and then flip and turn long, and then they'll rally pretty impulsively. So there is always the potential for that breakdown. And that's why maybe you take a half position, and then if it, once it starts to rally, you could maybe add the other half. But yeah, this is at support here. So if we break to the upside, then, we should run up to here, probably this 139, 140 area. From where we're at right now, that would be a move of about 84%. So decent rally there. Again, everything should be a bear market rally. And then there's big resistance right there at 169.60. So that if I was going to go long, that's definitely as far as I'd let it go. And that would be all the way up there. From where we're at right now, that's a 120% rally. That would be consistent with a bear market rally in this stock, all right, to see something like that. So just want to point it out. There is potential, it is a potential long here. But again, you could have that flush down move where they just, run a bunch of stops because it's so obvious, it's such a bullish setup right here. Another way to play it is you can wait and you can rally. And when you get the breakout of the trend line here, then, you could go long there. So sometimes what I like to do is build a position, a small increments of a position down here on the lower support line. And then when it breaks out, add to it for the trade up to the first resistance level. That's all I got for this morning, guys, or for today. I'm going to get the video out. Drop me a thumbs up on your way out. Hopefully you're finding value. Can't get them all right. You know, I can't, from day to day, things can get whippy, especially in this volatile market. Trying to keep everyone pointed in the right direction. But again, we still have to manage risk, you know, and so that's why it's so important to understand the levels and be able to do technical analysis to know when you're wrong, because 100% guarantee from me is that I will be wrong at least some of the time. All right. I can't be right every time. So we want to be wrong small. All right. And we want to be right big. That's the key. So just want to get this out there, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.